Oh my. Oh my, Persona, is that you? Of course, it is your boy Persona of Gaming with Persona, host of Mind of a Gamer, host of When Persona Speaks, and a fellow TOA member. And it is a Saturday. It definitely is a Saturday afternoon. Yeah, it's afternoon. Saturday afternoon. And yeah, I know some of you guys are probably wondering, like, yo, where is Mind of a Gamer? Where is that? It's Saturday, Persona. When Persona speaks, we haven't gotten that in how long? So why are we getting this now? Um, I'll definitely give some updates on Mind of a Gamer on MOG this later on in the show. But there is going to be a Mind of a Gamer today. I'll explain everything later. So don't worry. Make sure you stick around. Yo, Vanny Pan, what's going on, bro? Man, appreciate you coming through. Um, but I said I wanted to do a show today still, just because it's a lot I want to talk about and a lot that I want to kind of address and whatnot. And it's been a crazy week. It's been so much of a crazy week that I'm saying to myself, yo, I can't let this week leave without speaking on it, because this week has been insane for gamers, preferably PlayStation gamers. But we gonna get into that. Yo, we got Big Mike in the building, the Bang House. Yo, Bang House, what's going on, bro, man? Thank you so much for the sub, man. Appreciate you coming through. But I've been saying, yo, I've been talking to Barry for a while. I'm like, yo, Barry, man, I want to bring One Persona Speaks back. And Barry's like, yo, man, Barry from the Bronx. So Barry's like, yo, man, why you keep telling me? Go ahead and bring it back. And I'm like, damn, fam, I'm just looking for some advice. He's like, yo, man, don't talk about it, be about it. And I'm like, Barry, right? Barry, right? Shout out to Barry. Um, and if you haven't already, when was it? I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday. I was on Jay Barry's show, talking about Spider-Man, talking about the hypocrisy on Twitter and whatnot. And that's actually what we're going to address today. So I hope you guys enjoy. Hit the like button, subscribe, and all that stuff if you haven't already. So yeah, let's go ahead. Let's jump right into it. Also, the topics of what I'm going to be talking about today are at the bottom in the description. If you want to, follow along. Let me share some links real quick. Let me share a few links, guys. Hold up. I know y'all like, yo, Persona, you do that on your time, not on my time. And I'm like, fellas, ladies and gentlemen, I'm so sorry. I'm just trying to be somebody that shares my experiences with the world. That's what's most important here. Sharing my experiences with the world, man. I want to get my experiences out there. Um, but yo, this week, man, it's been a crazy week when it comes to like announcements, when it comes to news, when it comes to a lot of things revolving around gaming. As you know, this weekend is PAX East, so there's going to be a lot of announcements and things like that coming out of PAX East over the weekend. But earlier this week, man, we got like some crazy news um, for a game that I personally am extremely hyped for, which is Spider-Man. Now, Game Informer is doing a exclusive month-long expose, speaking with the developers about speaking with the developers, the artists, different artists that had a hand in Spider-Man creation, just pretty much outlining as much information as they possibly can about Spider-Man the game, just because last time we really got like some concrete information was shit, man, was it E3 2017? Yeah, it was like, and that it wasn't even information. Like the most we got was that it was slated to come out for 2018, which a lot of us did know. Um, but Game Informer, they definitely have been like pumping out that information all week, man. I've been following the chief editor of Game Informer, and I've already followed Insomniac and a lot of those developers. Man, shout out to them, man. They definitely know how to create quality products. But one of the pieces of information that a lot of us were waiting on, and a lot of us were counting on, was the uh, the release date. I think that's what was most important to a lot of us. So the release date obviously did get announced. It's coming out September 7th, 2018. That is a crazy, crazy month, which we'll also talk about as well later on. But uh, once the news started coming out, once the exclusive videos and gameplay videos and impressions and things of that nature, whenever we get big chunks of news like this, or whenever there's attention drawn to any type of game that is an exclusive, we tend to get people uh, that like to hit up these devs and like to bother these developers and Spider-Man Infinite was Paris Games Week 7. Yeah, you're right, Paris. You know what? I always forget about Paris Games Week. Just because it's still so new. I always forget because I'm so used to just E3, PSX, GDC, PAX. That's what I really I'm used to. But yeah, Paris Games Week. You're right. You're definitely right. So, a lot of times when we get like big chunks of news like this, man, we also get a lot of people in the community that tend to like the bother developers, or fuck it, bother developers with or ask developers, the age-old questions that most people tend to ask whenever games are exclusives. Is the game coming to Xbox? When is the Switch port? When is it coming to PC? Those are questions that get asked a lot whenever we tend to look at whenever we tend to get the news about PlayStation exclusives. That's something that I've definitely noticed over the years, actually, especially this generation, because this generation I've been more I've been more into social media and things like that. So, when you're on social media, you tend to see more and you tend to, see what people think all over the world. And it's crazy how many people actually do ask that question of when is this game coming to Xbox, which I find I'm trying to, I don't want to be rude. But I'm trying to find the proper way of saying, like, it's funny how, like, a lot of the times when it comes to PlayStation exclusives, right? And a lot of this is PlayStation exclusives that it happens for, because Xbox isn't really getting much quality to the level of when is this coming to PS4. I rarely see those type of tweets, although I'm sure those tweets are out there, but I don't see that. Same thing with Nintendo. I don't see tweets when this is coming to PlayStation 4 when it comes to Nintendo's exclusives. It's only PlayStation exclusives that we see this, when is it coming to PS4? When is it coming to Xbox? I mean, when is it coming to PS4? When is it coming to Xbox? When's the Switch port? When's the PC port? Like, we get these this bombardment of tweets when it comes to PS4 exclusives, which I find very funny when it comes to Xbox, because, and again, this isn't, this is a quick disclaimer. If it doesn't apply, then let it fly. If it doesn't apply to you as a person or as a gamer, then this isn't about you. For any Xbox dudes that may be watching. But a lot of the times with a lot of Xbox guys, especially earlier in the generation, a lot of times people were saying that a lot of Xbox guys or fanboys were saying that they don't want single player games. Single player games are one and done games. A lot of these dudes touted about being multiplayer gamers. Their console's home of the multiplayers and things like that. This is what a lot of Xbox dudes have preached since the beginning of this generation. And a lot of the times, when you say things enough, you kind of can speak things into existence, right? If you look at Xbox's track record with this generation, the exclusives have been severely lacking. And they've been lacking to a point where you have some hardcore Xbox guys switching sides, right? Yo, Barry, what's good, man? Appreciate you coming through, brother. So whenever these types of things happen, where we get these tweets or you see these tweets to devs talking about when is it coming to Xbox, or this should be on Xbox because this is anti-consumer. That doesn't make sense to me, because the whole purpose of competition when it comes to these consoles, PlayStation, Xbox, and Nintendo, is the fact of what sets them apart, right? If I'm in a store and I'm picking up games and I'm trying to buy, I'm trying to figure out which console I want to buy, right? What's going to help me in my decision making? What exclusives are on what game? What entices me to buy the console more, right? Let's look at the lineup for PlayStation this year. We've got God of War, we got Detroit, we've got Spider-Man, we've got Yakuza 6, we've got Little Witch Academia. Nino Kuni came out about 2-3 weeks ago. We've got what game? Dragon Crown Pro, Dragon Quest 11, and some of these aren't exclusive, but they are still games that are console exclusive and can only be found on PlayStation. So if someone is trying to buy a console, where are they going to go? They're going to go where the games are, right? Now, in terms, Demi in the building. All I've been seeing is PC and Xbox dudes getting moist over Spider-Man. Yo, Big Mike. Moist though? You got to use that word moist? Come on, bro. But a lot of what I've been seeing on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, and all these different things is people asking, when are these games coming to Xbox? Sony is anti-consumer. You made a mistake for keeping this only on PlayStation. First of all, why is it that, and this is a question, and chat, you can answer it if you want. We got Trill in the building, Howard in the building. Shout out to you guys, man. Thank you guys for coming through. Feel free to answer this question in the chat, but why is it that PlayStation is the only one that gets ridiculed for having exclusives, especially when it's providing the most quality exclusives for their console? Why are PlayStation and PlayStation gamers being ridiculed for that? It's wrong to be excited for Spider-Man. It's wrong to have this exclusive. It's wrong to be excited for these exclusives coming out. It like when with a lot of these dudes outside looking in, is wrong to be, to them, it seems like it's wrong to be excited to play play games, to be excited for games. You can't be excited for games because games are these games don't look fun, or they're single player, they're one and done, they're not, there's no multiplayer, and the developer is not putting this on this that type of logic and that type of way of thinking is retarded to me, just because we've been getting exclusives since the gaming started. Not even just this generation, gaming period. There's always been an exclusives model. When you ask a PlayStation guy what they love about PlayStation, they name the exclusives. And we're not talking about PlayStation 4. There's a difference between asking somebody a question of, why do you love PlayStation 4 and why do you love PlayStation? Right? When you ask somebody, why do you love PlayStation? 9 times out of 10, they're going to say they have the best exclusives. My childhood is with PlayStation. A lot of the games I played when I was a kid, I played on PlayStation. This is true. Look back at PS1 and PS2, the exclusives they had, the GT series, Legend of Dragoon, Final Fantasy 12, until I came to PC later, Final Fantasy 7, Kingdom Hearts, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro. The list goes on when it comes to quality exclusives that PlayStation has been putting out since the start of their gaming life. Not just PS4. These things aren't new. PlayStation has been doing this since the beginning of gaming, putting out quality exclusives, having exclusive rights to certain games, publishing certain exclusives from a third-party developer, owning IPs and having a third-party developer make the game, but it's still being exclusive. This isn't new. None of this is new. None of this is anti-consumer. None of this is wrong. It's not wrong to have exclusives. It's not wrong to be excited for games. But you have people on social media that will try to make you think it's wrong to have games exclusive, or to have games, to have Sony own specific IPs and have specific developers make it that isn't a first party developer of theirs. They still own the IP, they still own the game. Then you have the other demographic of people that are begging for exclusive games that are exclusive to a specific console, but then they'll say they own all the consoles, which we're going to get into in a second. But PlayStation has been doing this since the generation started. Nothing but quality games, nothing but quality exclusives. That's what made PlayStation so popular. PlayStation 2 didn't sell 110 million consoles worldwide, and arguably the highest selling console in history, just off of multiplats. No, it doesn't work like that. People were buying PlayStation 2s because they had some of the best exclusives, second party, first party, third party, whatever you want to call it, exclusives on their console that made people want to go out and buy these games, buy the console. God of War 1 and 2 were some of the best games back then on PS2. And remember, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was exclusive to PlayStation, timed exclusive for a specific amount of time. Let's remember that. So when you fast forward to PlayStation 4 and fast forward to 2018, when you have people asking, well, why is this exclusive? Sony is anti-consumer for having this game exclusive. This should be on Xbox. This isn't fair. Yo, this is business. And that's what a lot of people fail to understand. You know, Sony, Microsoft, like all these companies are in the business of making money. Yo, the spook who sat by the door, Powell. Yo, Powell, what's going on, bro? Appreciate you coming through. Oh, shit, I lost my train of thought. Oh, the exclusives, you know, when it comes to the business model of Sony, Sony is trying to crush its competition. That's the motive here. That's the motive, and that's always been the motive since the beginning of gaming, not just with Sony and Xbox, but with Nintendo and Sega. You know, for those that claim they grew up in the 80s and 90s, clearly you've seen the commercials of Nintendo talking about they had the better games, better looking games, 16-bit games, 32-bit games. Like, this shit has been going on forever. The business model of getting your money. That's the business model here. You have to invest in games on your platform to get more people on your platform. That's what Sony has been doing all generation, or all of its gaming life. But we're just gonna stick with this generation. That's what Sony has been doing. So when you have people on Twitter that says Spider-Man shouldn't be exclusive, it should be on all consoles so everybody can play, I say fuck that. For what? Why should my Spider-Man be on every console? No, it's exclusive. Go out and buy a PlayStation. And if you already, well, I'm gonna get into that in a second, but go out and buy a PlayStation. That's the point of it being exclusive, so that you can go out and buy a PlayStation. Then you have the other demographic of people that try to convince themselves that the Spider-Man game is trash because, or they'll try to compare the game to old Spider-Man games and try to convince themselves it's trash. Oh, well, you know, the old Spider-Man games, the Amazing Spider-Man and all these games, those were trash. So this game is going to be no different. You know, you got those people that do that, you know, and it's like, how are you comparing that? Like, looking at those games and looking at this looked like, because a lot of like those Amazing Spider-Man games and all that, a lot of those were movie adaptations. Meaning, you know, the developers are scrambling to get these games out as quickly as possible without any love or care being put into the game. This Spider-Man is very different. This isn't a movie adaptation. This is its own movie in its own right. And There's a lot of honestly love and care and creation and imagination going into this game. This game looks amazing to me. I'm excited. I'm excited to be a PlayStation gamer. I'm excited that I get to experience this game exclusively on PlayStation. Yo, man, this shit funny though, man. Like this shit is hilarious to me. Like seeing people mad that games are exclusive. And I'm still something from Bari because I know Bari. When was it? Was it this week? I think it was this week. Me and Bari, we was playing COD and we was talking, and he made a good point, which I agree with. He said, when it comes to Nintendo and their exclusives, you never see anybody hitting up Nintendo saying, "Oh, when is this coming to PlayStation? When is this coming to Xbox?" You know why? Because Nintendo don't play that shit. Nintendo, like people know if it's a Nintendo game, it's exclusive. You're not getting that nowhere else. Nowhere else. But with PlayStation, oh well, God of War should be multi-plat. Last of Us should be multi-plat. Spider-Man should be multi-plat. Detroit should be multi-plat. These games shouldn't be exclusive to the what? Why is PlayStation not afforded that same respect? Because you know these games are not going anywhere else. I would look like a fool if I went on Twitter and I was like, "Hey, at Nintendo America, when are you guys putting Mario and Zelda on PlayStation 4?" Yo, I would be the laughing stock of Twitter. Like I would be, you know how dumb I would look, bro? You know how stupid you would look asking that? And you know what a lot of people are going to say? It's never coming to PlayStation. Go buy a Switch. But when PlayStation people say that same sentence, is anti-consumer. I don't know. I don't know. Hey, I'm just going off what I see, and that's what I see. But moving on to the multi-console owners, we need complete games to come back again. Yo, EJ in the building. What's good, EJ? The last good Spider-Man games were Web of Shadows and Shattered Dimensions. I agree that Demi. I don't have disposable income. I scrapped and saved my money for a PS4. You know what, Mike, Big Mike? I get that. I get that. I understand that there are people out here in the world that they can't buy every console, right? Before I even get into my next segment, I do want to put that disclaimer out there. I do understand that I can't people can't go out and buy every console and buy all these exclusives for all these games. I get that. I get that 100%. I understand that. Sony probably understands that as well, but still doesn't give a fuck. None of these companies do. Nintendo, Microsoft, Sony, they're not gonna put their game on your platform because you can't afford. And this sounds fucked up, but this is business. They're not gonna put their game on a platform that you have because you can't afford to get the platform that it's exclusive on. That's not how life works. That's not how gaming works. It's exclusive. So I get that. I get that for a lot of people. I know that's the reality for a lot of people. So a lot of people get mad and they say, "Oh, well, this game should be multi-plat." Everybody doesn't own all the consoles. Fair enough. That's fair. I understand that, but it's still exclusive. You can't call Sony anti-consumer because their games aren't coming to your Switch or they're not coming to your Xbox. No, that's not anti-consumer at all. That's not stupid business decisions at all. It's just business, as Vic would say, strictly business. It's business. It's they're all in the business of making money. If they're putting their best exclusives out on other platforms, Who's buying a PS4? That's not going to make someone go out and buy a PS4 if they're putting their exclusives on the platform that they already own. That's stupid. That's stupid, and that's not how business works. And any smart businessman would tell you that's stupid. That's not how it works. Now, when it comes to those people that do own multiple consoles, you ever see people on Twitter, on Facebook, like whenever, yeah, Barry. If you cared about Rise of the Tomb Raider that much, go buy an Xbox One to assure yourself. Yeah. Shout out to whoever said that. If you care about Rise of the Tomb Raider that much, go buy an Xbox One to assure yourself that you'll be able to play this game. Man. Yo, Barry, you messy, bro. But on to those people that do say that they own multiple consoles. You ever like see people on Twitter or on Facebook, and they're debating somebody, and they'll be like, "Oh, well, I have all the consoles. I have every console, right?" That's a word, or that's a sentence that gets thrown around a lot on in debates and in on Twitter and YouTube and all that stuff to kind of make themselves safe to be able to talk about a console. Like, oh, well, I have an Xbox as well. And, the Xbox, people do that. You feel me? Because they're scared, they not scared, but they want to make themselves, that's like a safety net, because that gives them right of passage to be able to talk shit about the console. Right. So those same people, that do have multiple consoles, they won't buy the exclusives on that console. There's people, oh, I have a PS4, but I'd rather play this on Xbox. I want it on Xbox. That doesn't make that type of thinking doesn't make sense to me. Cause I'm like, the purpose of owning all three consoles is because you know that there's something coming out on all three of those consoles that you want to play. That's exclusive to that console. With Nintendo, it's Mario, Zelda, Kirby, Metroid, Pokemon, right? For me, for Xbox, it was Cuphead, it was Sunset Overdrive, it was Quantum Break, and it was Scalebound. That's why I bought Xbox One. For Sunset Overdrive, Sunset Overdrive is what I was like, yo, I need this game. So I snatched, that's what made me go out and buy an Xbox One. So Sunset Overdrive, Quantum Break, I was excited for Quantum Break. That was a great game. It was decent. Let me not say great. Hold up. It was decent. Scalebound, I was waiting for Scalebound, and Cuphead. Those are the 4 games I knew for a fact I wanted on my console, that I wanted an Xbox One for, right? So I went out and I got an Xbox One for that, and I didn't bitch and moan that these games were exclusive. I went and and Gears, and Gears. I wanted Gears. I love Gears. So I wanted Gears as well. Shout out to Demi for that. Appreciate that, bro. So that's why I bought an Xbox. With PlayStation, I bought a PlayStation for the plethora of JRPGs they release, a plethora of the first-party exclusives they release. Uncharted Lost Legacy, Last of Us Remastered, God of War, Detroit, Days Gone, Ghost of Tsushima, Ratchet and Clank, Gravity Rush 2, Yakuza 0, Yakuza Kiwami, Yakuza 6, Yakuza Kiwami 2. The list goes on. Dragon Quest Heroes 1. Remember, Dragon Quest Heroes 1 was exclusive to PlayStation. Like, I bought a PlayStation for many, many, many reasons, because I know that a lot of these games I can only find here. A lot of these games are only going to release here. So that's why I have these consoles, all 3 consoles sitting in my house now. Right? But then I'm not on Twitter crying to devs saying that this game should be multi-plat. It doesn't, that argument doesn't suit me. That argument doesn't pertain to me. And I'm not going to act like I'm some type of humanitarian, some type of activist for exclusives being multi-plat, because I'm not. because I understand the business model of how things work when it comes to competition. When it comes to setting a console apart, I understand why that it is when it comes to the model of how exclusives are released. These companies are putting millions of dollars into creating these exclusive experiences on their console, not for themselves. Well, for themselves, obviously, but it's more so to get you to their console. Certain fans are hardcore demanding Sunset Overdrive 2 immediately. I mean, yo, man, I myself would love to have Sunset Overdrive 2. If Insomniac does it and they put it on the Xbox One, I mean, I got my personal heater sitting right here next to me, so I'm good. Um, but this has always been the thing, you know. I don't want to, so I don't get why people, you know, that have all the consoles are pushing to have these games multiplat. You have all the consoles, bro. Like in my house right now, if I'm in the mood to play Zelda Breath of the Wild, I can pick up my Switch and play it right now. If I'm in the mood to play God of War, when God of War releases, obviously, but I'm gonna still say God of War. If I'm in the mood to play God of War, I'll turn on my PlayStation. If I'm in the mood to play Cuphead, I'll turn on my Xbox. If I'm in the mood to play um what's exclusive on the 3DS? I don't even know what's exclusive on the 3DS. I don't know. Um, what's coming out on the 3DS? If I'm in the mood to play Luigi's Mansion, that's coming out on 3DS later this year. I'll turn on my 3DS. If I'm in the mood to play some JRPG on the Vita, I got like that's the purpose of owning all of these consoles. That's the purpose of you saying you own all these consoles because you have the ability to play everything. You can play everything. I literally can play any game that comes out because I have every console in my house. So why am I mad at a game being exclusive? Why is anyone that has every console mad about a game being exclusive? It doesn't make sense. Make it make sense for me because I don't get it. I'm lost. I don't get it. So I need somebody to explain that to me. Because that logic doesn't make sense. I'm not on Twitter. I'm not going to be on Twitter mad or be on Facebook mad that a game is exclusive if I have all the consoles. It's that simple. So to all you multi-console owners out there, buy the exclusives that's on the console. Yo, Frozen, what's good, man? Yo, Simon, what's good? Companies spend millions when building their brand. It's mind share. Yes, that is very true, Simon. Companies spend millions, hell, even billions to some degree to build their brand. They put so much money into the brand to set their brand apart. That is very true. And Sony has done a great job setting themselves apart from everyone else, and they're going to continue to do so. Clearly, we this is how crazy it is. This year and next year, we already know what's coming. We pretty much know what's coming out this year, right? E3 we may get one or two pocket announcements or whatever, right? But we essentially know what's coming out. Like we may get a release date for Concrete Genie or Dreams or something like that. That may be, you know, a holiday title, you know, and we'll get that announcement at E3 or something like that. But essentially, we know what's coming out for the rest of this year. But we also know what's coming out next year or what's slated for next year. Death Stranding, Days Gone, Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2. We already got next year sold up. That's how building your brand, that's how setting up your game library and all these things, that's how you do it. Sony is killing it when it comes to how they're announcing their games, but also how they're releasing their games, right? Um, last year there was a lot of uproar about, oh, we're only getting release years. I want a date. I want a date. But if you look back to 2016, 2015 and 2016, the criticism that Sony was getting was for the simple fact that they were giving us dates and not meeting the deadline, and they kept delaying games and pushing games back. That was the critique, right? So Sony said, okay, we'll give you a year. We'll give you a release year, right? So the argument changed to, oh, well, why are you giving us a release year and not a release date? I want dates. I want dates, including myself. I'll include myself in that group of people because I remember 2017, I was a little disappointed in that we weren't getting any dates for specific things. So I'll admit that, that is my little critique. But as time went on, I began to understand why they don't want to give a date for a game that may not come out that date, and then further get criticized, and then further gets critiqued, and Sony's anti-consumer, Sony's lying, Sony's, like I get why they did what they did. And honestly, in hindsight, looking at it now, it's more exciting this way. And I'll explain why. With God of War, right? Me and the fam, we all, talked about all these games coming out. We're always talking about the games that's coming out and how excited we are, right? So when you finally get that game, right, or that news that the game is coming out or there's going to be a release date, that excitement that you feel is it's like you're like a kid again. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But like I'll use God of War for instance. When they released the God of War release date, I was excited. I was also like, damn, they could have announced this at PSX, but I was like really excited because I was just like, damn, they were like, damn, this is really coming out April 20th. I'm super excited. Like, this is definitive, right? And then the way that they're doing like these media exposés and these like media tours almost that they like doing like these, like they interviewing these developers and ask them a bunch of questions and dev diaries and shit like that to kind of hype you up for the game and pull you into their life of how these games are made. Yeah, I fucking love that. Like, I love seeing that because that makes me even more excited for the game, right? So, and this is the third time they've done it now this year. No, did they do it for Detroit? No, I think they just did a release. Yeah, it's the second time because they did it for God of War, and now they're doing it for Spider-Man. And I'm pretty sure they're going to do it for Days Gone, probably closer to the end of the year. They'll probably do something like that. But this is like, these media runs that they're doing and giving us the dates and hyping us up to the degree that they are like this week with the whole Spider-Man release date and with Andrew, I forgot his last name, but he's the chief editor of Game Informer. Him and Insomniac Games, they were talking right on Twitter, and they were just like, "Oh, well, we might have the release. I think Andrew has the release date, and I think he said he's going to do it. He's going to give the release date tomorrow." Like shit, like that is exciting. That type of shit excites gamers. You feel me? So when the release date got released and it gave us the date, it made me even more excited for the game. Not just the fact that it was Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man itself hypes you up, but just knowing the date and knowing when you're able to play it, and then knowing that you see the collector's edition and you see the all these different videos and interviews and shit like that. That type of shit excites the hell out of me, honestly. Like, and again, I everybody may not be like that, which that's fair. But that excited the hell out of me. I was like, yo, man, I can't wait to play this game. Yo, this shit is crazy. Oh my God. I was going crazy in the chat. Yo, ask the councilman. I was going crazy. I was like, yo, oh my God, the game. I gotta get the collector's edition. I was excited. Yo, T-Mang in the building. Yo, big shout out to T-Mang, man. Appreciate you coming through, bro. So like PlayStation has been doing it right when it comes to release dates and how they're releasing their games this year. They really are doing a good job with giving us the dates, sticking to the dates, hyping us up, things like that. And September is like hell month for me, because Spider-Man comes out September 7th. and then literally a week later, uh, what's the game? Dragon Quest 11. One of the games that I'm like extremely, extremely hyped for, like crazy hyped for, comes out a week later. And then when does Spyro comes out? I think Spyro comes out the 21st, I think. Yeah, Spyro, I think is the 21st. So like they all three of those games are releasing within a week of each other. And not to mention, you got Shadow of Tomb Raider, which I'm not getting. That shit is trash. Well, it's not trash, but I'm just not. Yeah, I'm not getting it. But Shadow of the Tomb Raider is also releasing in September, and that's gonna be a crazy, crazy month because I got all three games: Dragon Quest 11, Spider-Man, obviously, and Spyro. Of course, I had to get Spyro. Um, it- Juggling those three games will probably be my entire September. Honestly, that may even be my entire rest of the year. Just because Dragon Quest 11 is easily going to be 200 hours, 200, 250 to platinum. I'm gonna get the platinum in that. Spider-Man, I don't know how long the game is. I'm anticipating Spider-Man is probably going to be 20 hours, maybe 20, 25 hours of gameplay and all that stuff. To get the platinum, maybe 30-ish hours, maybe. I want to say like maybe 30 hours to get the platinum. And then Spyro's pretty quick. Spyro might to beat all three games, it may take maybe 40 hours depending. Yeah, about 10 hours a game, maybe. Yeah, maybe 40 hours. But like that's my whole September, and maybe even my whole rest of the holiday. Well, with COD, obviously with COD as well. But God of War is pretty much going to be the rest of April 20th. Then we got Yakuza 6 goes Dragon Crown Pro, and Detroit in May. May is gonna be crazy. Yo, Larry, what is good, bro? What's good, bro? The whole Spider-Man showing and release date reveal hype me up too. Yo, man, this is what I'm saying. Like things like that hype gamers up. You feel me? That shit hypes you up, man. And like, damn, I can't wait to play this now. Like that really hypes people up. Um, I'm skipping. Yo, we got Titanfall Princess in the building. I'm skipping Spyro. Oh no. God, you can't skip the Spiral, man. Spiral that's the game, man. That's my childhood. Yo, Yakuza 6 then God of War. Yo, Demi, listen, you ain't gonna disrespect this God of War. You feel me? That God of War is getting copped. Yakuza 6 gonna have to fall to the wayside for a little bit. Oh my god. Yakuza 6 looks dope though. It really does. I saw it at PSX. I couldn't play Yakuza 6 just because the line was so long, and I wasn't trying to waste like 4 hours waiting online just to play one game. So like the games that like had super long lines, I kind of was just like Monster Hunter Worlds as well had like a long line at PSX, and I'm like, why is this line long when the beta's out? Like I'm not waiting online to play Monster Hunter. I'm damn sure not waiting online to play no Battlefront 2. But I got that PSX. I got to play a lot of the games that I wanted to play, especially that Lost Soul Aside. Shout out to that Lost Soul Aside. But with Detroit, and then in June is a month that's actually pretty open right now. I don't know what's going on in June yet in terms of games, but the summer is looking like the summer may be like a little dry this summer, just to honestly to give people time to beat the damn games. I'm gonna be honest, which I'm happy for that. If you're not, if PlayStation's not releasing anything in the summer, I would be greatly appreciative of that. God of War Detroit can be a lot of people's summers. Get those games, get those platinums. And then, then we go into the holiday time and we get the Spider-Mans and Dragon Quest 11s and all that stuff. Yakuza definitely is looking godly, T-Mang. Vampire is the only game that's dropping June from what I know of. Yeah, Vampire, you know what though? Vampire looks good. But I don't know. I still I don't know. Vampire just doesn't excite me. It doesn't excite me enough. that's something I'd probably pick up on like a Black Friday sale for like $20, $15. But yeah, it's a lot of good games releasing, guys. I'll say this, there's something for everybody releasing between now and September. Between now and September, that's how many months? So we're in April, so May, June, July, August, 5 months. So 5 months. Between now and September, there's a lot releasing for everybody. There's something for everybody releasing. But yeah, game releases is they're spread out, but then they're still kind of really close because you still need time to beat these games. But yeah, so let's go ahead. Let's move on into Mind of a Gamer podcast update. So how do I? So obviously you guys know this week we didn't do last week as well. It was last week and this week we didn't do. I thought you was hype for Vampire. Nah. Yo, Vic, I was never hype for Vampire, man. Vampire could go head on with that. Yo, I said Vampire looks good, but it nah. I'm good. Yo, Mike, you on chapter 8 with Nino Cooney? Oh my god, I'm only on chapter 7. Actually no, I am on chapter 8, but I'm grinding right now, trying to build up my my kingdom and all that, because obviously I'm trying to get the platinum. So I mean, I'm gonna say this, it'll probably take me another week, maybe about another week to get the platinum for Nino Cooney, maybe a week and a half. I'm trying to get the platinum before God of War comes out, because God of War would be the next platinum that I work on. But I want to get, like, I'm at 69 plats right now, and I want Nino Cooney 2 to be my 70th plat. So after Nino Cooney 2, I'm gonna get the God of War plat, get Far Cry 5 plat, and then we'll probably work on Monster Hunter Platinum until Detroit comes out. We'll see. Yeah, so with Mind of a Gamer, last week we didn't do a podcast. This week we're not doing a podcast. So here's the deal. Right now, everyone is everyone is going through a lot of personal issues and a lot of personal things in their lives. Or people are trying to achieve specific goals within their personal lives, whether it be educationally, work-wise, or whatever the case may be. There is a lot of responsibilities that people have, including myself. A lot of things that I'm doing or dealing with in my personal life as well. So Mind of a Gamer. When I started Mind of a Gamer, it was just me and Kev, and then we added on Demi, and we're in the process of adding on a new person. But right now, like Mr. Official and Demi and myself, we need a break from it. So we're probably going to take a break for a little bit, not too long. But we're probably going to take like maybe a month or so break, and probably return like closer to E3. I know the fellas, they need a little break to do specific things, and doing a Saturday morning show in itself is just it's not hard, but it's you got to get up in the morning, and Friday nights people like to stay up late and go out and do shit or play games late or whatever the case may be. So sometimes getting up that early is on a Saturday, getting up that early is like, what the hell? I'm not going to work. But we will be back for the podcast closer to E3. I want to give the fellas time to get themselves situated within their lives and do what they have to do. And when one thing that me personally, when it comes to podcasts that I watch, I hate watching podcasts with people that don't sound passionate about what they speak about, just because if you sound bored on on the mic on the podcast, I'm gonna be bored and I'm not gonna watch it. You feel me? Um, and with me, us, we have a very good dynamic when it comes to Mind of a Gamer, and sometimes when you're dealing with real life issues, it tends to have an effect on how you uh, project on the podcast. Even if you don't mean to, it's kind of just something that kind of can't be helped. You feel me? So to prevent the quality of our podcast, or to prevent the chemistry and what everyone loves about the podcast to diminish, I rather give my MOG boys a break from the podcast so that everyone can get things situated, and then we could come back fresh, better, stronger than ever, and you know continue doing Mind of a Gamer. Mind of a Gamer isn't ending or nothing like that. Trust me, it's not. It's not ending. It's not ending. For those that may think that, no, it's not ending. It's still Mind of a Gamer. We still MOG boys. We still, MOG in the morning, big bowl of MOG, all that stuff. It's still that. It's just, we've been doing a podcast over a year and a half now, and guys, sometimes people need a break. So, the podcast won't happen for a couple weeks. Probably another 3 weeks, 4 weeks, maybe, or a month. I don't know. I don't want to put a time frame on it because I don't want to put a time frame on how long people need. But when we do come back, it will be better. It will be much more presentable. The topic's still going to be controversial. I just don't want. I just want people to be excited to talk about games. And it's hard. And like I said, it's hard to do that when your mind is elsewhere. Especially me being the host. When you're hosting a podcast, and this is something that Barry told me too, because I was asking, like, when I first was going to start up the podcast, I asked him, because we did council podcasts for like 2 years. We were doing the council podcast, and Barry obviously was the host of that, and so I asked Barry, like, "Yo, Barry, like how do you host?" Like, I was just like, "Yo, man, like, what do you like?" He's just like, "Yo, you just gotta." You have to be the energy of the podcast, because the podcast is going to follow your energy, or you have to get people energized. You got to be able to keep the conversation going and ask questions, and have good topic. He schooled me on a couple things. So bringing that into the podcast, I've always tried to be. I'm the funny guy. Like, I'm the funny one. Well, me and Demi's punny. I'm funny. And keeping that type of positive energy and keeping that type of great energy. It's not easy, especially when you're dealing with personal things in life. And even like with us, when we're joking around and talking about games and laughing and stuff like that, it's hard to joke around when you got a lot of things on your mind outside of gaming. Because as much as we all love video games isn't the center of our lives. I love video games just as much as the next person, honestly. And video games is a huge passion of mine, but video games is also not more important than say my health, or more important than being successful in life, or things like that. And to my MOG boys, that also applies to them. They also feel that way. As much as they love video games, they also love their health, they love success, they love all these different things. So sometimes you have to step back a little bit and readjust, or rearrange things in life, and then come back. So that's what's going to happen. Vic said, anybody? Yo, Vic stupid. So in the meantime, what's gonna happen is I will do When Persona Speaks. Probably not on Saturdays. It'll probably be during the week or something like that. I have to see. But I will do When Persona Speaks, obviously, and still, give my thoughts on things that happen in the gaming community and all those different things, and talk about different things gaming wise and all that stuff. I'll still do that. And me and Demi, we'll do like gaming nights and aftercasts and stuff like that, where we'll play different games. we're gonna be doing Far Cry 5 probably tonight or tomorrow. If not this week, probably next week, but I think it is this week. We're gonna do Far Cry 5. We'll do like a couple Far Cry 5 missions and live stream it. Me and Demi, he'll stream on his channel. Obviously, I'll stream on mine, and that'll kind of be like our mind of a gamer game, community gathering, whatever you want to call it. That's what we'll do. But I do want to thank everybody that does support, not just myself, but support Demigod Reviews channel, supports Mr. Official VG's channel, supports Jake Barry's channel, and all the people that I watch, man. Or well, to all the people that watch us, man, it really is appreciated. We do appreciate you guys. We love doing this. I love doing it, and I'm someone I can speak in front of. I'm not speaking in front of you, but like to speak and to keep a conversation like that, I'm not necessarily. It's not hard to do, but to keep an audience engaged, that was like a challenging thing for me when it came to doing this podcast, or something that I was worried about. But after doing a podcast for about a year or so, I'm like, man, I think I do pretty well. It ain't perfect, but I think I do pretty well. But yeah, so this has been When Persona Speaks. It's actually not episode 10. I looked at the playlist, it's episode 13. So I'm gonna change that when it uploads. But When Persona Speaks, episode 13. Again, man, I do appreciate you guys that came through. Shout out to Trill Wave. Shout out to Demigod Reviews. Shout out to the Spook who sat by the door, Powell. Shout out to Mr. Official VG, Big Mike, Vanny Pan, T-Mang Fu, Titanfall Princess, Jay Bari. Who else came through? Larry. Shout out to Larry. Thank you for coming through, bro. Frozen. Thank you for coming through. Who else came through? Who else? The Bang House, appreciate you coming through, man. And and Simon, shout out to Simon, man. Thank you for coming through too, bro. And to anybody else that just listens to the podcast and doesn't really type in the chat, shout out to you guys as well. I know we have a lot of people that do that. They just listen, and they don't really type and talk and all that. So thank you guys as well. And then remember, man, before I leave, remember, it's okay to be excited for games. Okay, it's okay to be excited for exclusives. You're not a bad gamer. You're not a bad person if you're excited for games. And if anybody is going to the lengths to make you feel like you're not a real gamer because you're excited to play games, or you're excited for exclusives, or you're excited for a specific game that you didn't play the previous version of the game, fuck them. Like those people don't matter. What matters is your enjoyment of the game. What matters is these exclusives that you're getting for the PlayStation 4. With Ni no Kuni 2, I was excited as hell to play that game. I never played Ni no Kuni before in my life, but what I saw and what Barry explained to me about the game, I was intrigued to the point where I'm like, yo, looking at the second game and his gameplay, I'm super excited for this game. Now I'm 60 hours into Ni no Kuni 2, and I love the game. So, don't let nobody tell you it's wrong to be excited or to hype up games, okay? And with that being said, man, I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend. Be safe, enjoy it with your friends, family, girlfriend, boyfriend, whoever, whatever. We'll see you guys next time. Peace, peace, peace.